Hello, all smart people out there. Welcome to the tutorial Fundamentals of Piping. This is really super exciting for me to see that you have come so far real quick understanding all the new concepts of Linux. I promise that this is going to bring a lot of opportunities at work and at your personal level growth as a Linux user. It will be phenomenal. So let's move ahead and start with the chapter. Till now, we have discussed so many concepts of redirection and we have tried a few commands that were really cool, and we know how to redirect the output of a command from one data stream to another and save it into a different data stream which is located in somewhere in the PC. And now, in this chapter, we will be learning the fundamentals of piping in the Linux operating system. We will learn how to combine multiple commands just like a pipeline one after the another and get the output at the last. Using the pipelines, you will be able to make one complex command by using several smaller chunks of commands just like in a pipe where you combine multiple pipes and at the end of the pipe you get the output, most probably water or oil, whatever it is. And by the end of this chapter, you will be having a better understanding of the piping concepts. You will be able to use pipes to combine several commands to make one single complex powerful command. Trust me, guys, piping is one of the very skillful and very powerful concept of Linux. If you know this, you will be able to deal with multiple commands and just get the output in one go. So, what is piping? Piping lets you to use two or more commands in a way that the output of one command, just listen carefully, the output of one command, it serves as the input of the another command, which is in the pipeline. I'll repeat it again in a different manner. We can say that output of each command processes directly as the input to the next one like a pipeline. Got it? This pipe command actually helps you to mash up two or more commands at the same time and run them consecutively so that when the first command is over, its output is given to the next command. So when the first command in a pipe, when this is over, it gives the output to the other command in the pipe, and then again other and other and other and other and so on. And at the end of the pipe, the complete combined output will be delivered. Now it is totally up to you. You want to deliver the output on the terminal or you want to redirect it, which we'll be discussing later. I just wanted to seed this idea that we are going to redirect the output of whatever we are going to get from the piping into some other file later on. So after combining multiple commands of smaller units, you will be having some complex kind of pipe. I have just used this diagram of pipeline so that you will be able to properly connect that what we are actually doing. So this is how the command works. This is how the pipeline flows. In first, you will be having your command, which will process the command, which will process the command line argument or the standard input, whatever you give it, and then it will pass on the output of command 1 through the pipe to command 2 as the standard input for the command. And then command 2 will process the same, and then it will forward the output of command 2 to command 3. And then command 3, suppose just let us assume that command 3 is the last command in the pipe. So command 3 will process the output that has been received from command 2 after processing the output received from command 1, and then it will deliver the final output, which will be either on the terminal or into a data stream as given by the user. So let us understand this with an example. So guys, we are in the terminal window, and here in the terminal window we will be trying several commands which will be used to demonstrate how actually a pipe works. Okay, just for the ease and to save certain time during the tutorial, I have already made a file which is a fruits.txt in which I have kept the names of certain fruits. Okay, you can see it. Okay, So this fruits.txt is in my home folder. So right now I am using cat command, cat fruits.txt, and I press enter. You noticed it? After pressing the enter button, since the list started from apple followed by watermelon, orange, pear, but I was redirected only to the last fruit that was in the list. So that means the cat command have skipped whatever processing it has done in between, and it has showed me the last one. So there is a command which is called less. So I will be using the less command, which will which will allow me to use the upper and the down arrow button to navigate and come to the scroll to the last rather than directly jumping. So how can I use it? I will be first press the upper arrow, and just the last history command I have just taken it, and I will be using the pipe symbol which is just above the enter button. You might see it in your keyboard. So this is called the this one single bar, this is called the pipe symbol, and then a space, and then I will be using the less command. I just need to write the less. So what actually will happen, this cat command will read data from fruits.txt, and rather than jumping directly to the last command in the loop, it will it will give me the privilege to scroll down one by one. Now I press enter, and now you can see the list have started from apple, and now it is waiting for me to press the down arrow button. So now I press the down arrow, and I am able to actually scroll down to the end, and when I come to the end I have to press the Q button so that I come out of this. Did you notice it? There is one more command which is more. So even less and more both works in the similar fashion. The only difference is when you press less, you get to use the down arrow or up arrow button, and when you press more, you get the same output, but you have the privilege to press enter button rather than pressing the arrow, and you don't need to press the Q at the end. You just come out of this. Okay. Now I want to introduce a new command which is called grep. This is how I pronounce it. So it is actually GREP. What if you have to search a file for a text? Means what if you have to search a file for a text or a piece of information from that file based on a keyword search? It is just like a keyword search from a file you have to do. So for that we have the grep command. So before using the grep command, let us go to the man page of grep and see what it says. Okay, there are multiple formats of grep command available, but whatever it does is to print lines that matches the patterns. Okay, so if there are n number of lines, and if I'm giving a pattern, so it will be showing me all those lines as an output, which is actually matching the pattern. So, and the description also reads that grep searches for patterns in each file if I'm having multiple files, and patterns in one or more patterns are separated by a new line, and grep prints, the important part is here, grep prints each line that matches a pattern. So let's come out, and there are certain options also I will be using in this. I'll show you a few options which I'll be using, like I'll be using option I, where I can ignore the case of the word and just search, so it will not confuse between uppercase or lowercase, and it will display the result. And I will use V, which is to invert the sense of matching, means whatever doesn't get matched, it will be displayed. Okay, so let's press Q and come out of it. Now what I'm doing, I will be using the grep command. The synopsis already we have seen that it is just like grep, and I have to write just like if I'm dealing with the fruits.txt, so avocado, avocado, and it will display the result. But since it is not having anything to read from, so it is just waiting for me to give apple avocado. So when I have given the command apple, it has not given any output. But when I gave avocado, it has given me the output as avocado, and it is again waiting. So let's press C and focus totally on how the concept of pipeline can be made applicable in this situation. So what we are having the cat command, cat fruits.txt. Okay, so I'm reading the data cat fruit.txt, and I'm using the pipeline, and I use grep, and I write avocado. It should not show me the result because I have not used the I option, and it is written in lowercase. So just let me see if it matches or not. No, it doesn't match, but it is not also giving me any output. So I'll go back and I will write over here capital avocado, and yes, we got a reply. We can also do another thing. I can just write grep A, and it has given me what all options are available. So what is actually happening? Did you notice it? Cat command. So this is a total pipeline, you can say, that I have created. Though it's just a two commands over here, you can give multiple commands, and it's totally on you. So just for the understanding, I'll be keeping it simple. I have used cat command, which reads the data from fruits.txt, and it passes the output rather than displaying it on the screen. It passes the output to the next command as the input for grep. Okay, and this grep is having a command line argument which is avocado. So actually what grep does, grep actually scans the document and presents the result in the format you want. So what you wanted avocado, it has displayed avocado. You wanted all the items which starts with A, so it has given you the list of fruits that starts with A. Now I'll be making it a bit more complex, and I will be using the I option. As we read in the man page, that this I option, this actually ignores the case, and this gives whatever is available. So I'll be using the same command, capital A. So do we get only 3 or we get more output? So let's see over here. Okay, so we have received all the names of the fruits which were matching the case A. Doesn't matter whether it is having a lowercase a or uppercase A, it has shown all the fruits which is having at least alphabet A in it. Okay, and as I told you that I'll be using one more option, that is V. V is actually used to reverse. V is actually reverse of A, which means reverse of I, which means that it will display all the fruits name which is not having an A in it. Okay, so there are a lot of fruits actually. Okay, so this is not case sensitive, so I need to make it a smaller A. So ignore case is only applicable for I. Okay, and this will be having, if I give a lowercase a, then the list will be a bit less. So I will be giving A. Yes, it is having whatever the lowercase is there. I can even combine both the things, and I can use it. I can in fact use one more pipeline over here. I'll be first using the ignore case command, where I'll be getting all the A's, and then I will be using the V option, and I'll be restricting only to the case which is not having a smaller A. Understood? So sorry, I missed the pipeline over here. So you can see that the error comes when you just miss anything. Okay, so this is what I have made from the 2 pipeline commands. We have just jumped to 3 commands in a pipe. So this is, I have read the data from cat fruits.txt. I have passed the output to grep, where I have selected all the list of fruits which is having at least an A in it. No, doesn't matter whether it is a smaller A or upper A. It is the case is ignored, and then I have passed the entire list to the next command in the pipeline, which is grep option V, which actually shows the output which is not having a match to a lower A alphabet. So it has given us these two output. So here we finish up with the grep command. There is one more command which I want you to see. It is actually sort command. We will be discussing sorting later also, but since we are discussing pipelines, this is a bit related to this. Sort command actually comes handy when you try to list the result alphabetically. So we know how does actually sorting means. We sort things alphabetically. We sort things numerically from lowercase to upper, from lower number to upper number, or from in the reverse order. So in the using sort, I can do sorting and reverse sorting. So we'll be trying both. So I think you understood up to here what we are doing. We are taking the input from fruits.txt. We are passing it as an output, and this we are passing the output as an input for the other command in the pipeline. So this grep command is displaying all the result which is having an A in it. And now I use one pipe again, and I use sort. I just write sort, so the result will get alphabetically arranged by itself. I pressed enter, and you can see all the fruits which are having at least an A in it are displayed, but in alphabetical orders. This was not the scenario in this one, right? After apple, it was watermelon and orange and pear. It was just a randomly shuffled command. And try now, since we have seen the sort command, what I want you people to do is use this command and try to redirect the data to a output stream. In the data on the screen, I want you all to think about how you can save the data in a file. Were you able to recall it? So actually we will be doing it by using the redirection symbol, and we'll be using output.txt. So what we are doing now, we are reading data from catsfruit.txt, forwarding the data, forwarding the standard output to grep command as a standard input, where the data is getting scanned, and all the data which is having at least one A, doesn't matter in uppercase or lowercase, it is getting displayed, and it is further passed down this pipeline, and the sort command sorts the data alphabetically and saves it to output.txt. I press enter, I'll go to the files, and I'll open output.txt, and I can see that all the data is saved in the file in alphabetical order. Now I have a task for you all. What if I want this data to be stored before grep, before starting the pipeline, and stored somewhere here in a file? Suppose I've used a file named extra.txt. So I want you all to think about, can you save the data over here? So let's go ahead and try it out. I'll be using the same command, and instead I'll be just adding one more redirection over here, and I'll be writing extra.txt. So what actually I want is, I'm using cat command to read data from fruits.txt. I'm passing it to a output data stream which is extra.txt. I mean to before passing the command down the pipeline, I want it to store it, the output, and then forward it to the pipeline so that it gets altered and a new output can be saved. So I'll click enter button, and let us rename, just to avoid confusion, output to. Okay, so let me see if I get the output or not. So go to files again. Let me open extra.txt. I'm having the data which was stored in fruits. Okay, now I want to open output.to.txt. I want to tell you, and no data have come. So when you actually put the redirection before the pipeline, actually the concept is redirection doesn't work when you use it before the pipeline. So either you can use redirection or you can use the pipeline. But in the next chapter, we'll be learning how actually we can do that. We can actually store the data in a file before passing it down the pipeline. Tutorial. So friends, that was all about piping, and in this tutorial, we got to know that pipes, which is denoted by this symbol, by this pipe symbol, sends the output of one command as an input to another command. Very simple, right? Easy to understand. The filter takes input from one command and does some processing and gives the output. Okay, is an output of one command which actually serves the input to the next. Understood? The grep command can be used to find strings and values matching in a text document or any file, and it displays the output accordingly, and the options can be used as provided by the user. There's a sort command which will sort out the content of the file alphabetically. Similarly, sort dash r is sorting in reverse order. We also got to know about two commands, which is less and more commands, which are used for dividing a long file into a readable bits. And last but not the least, scenario, if you use redirection, we used redirection, and we got to know that redirection should be used only at the end of the pipe. Means if we use redirection anywhere in between before the pipeline ends, so the output will get redirected to to some other data stream, and it will not be passed down the pipeline. So the output which you are expecting at the end of the pipeline, which will be totally different, or in fact it will be a no output scenario if you use redirection before the pipeline ends. Learning some more piping concept where we will be knowing how to store the data in one of the file before passing it to any other command down the pipeline, and we'll be using the t command and xargs command and see how they help us to know pipeline better. So that's all friends, I'll be seeing you in the next tutorial.